Story 1: The Vanishing Hitchhiker of Elk River. In Elk River, Minnesota, locals whisper about a young woman seen walking the backroads at night. She looks lost, drenched from rain, and asks drivers for a ride home. Multiple people have picked her up, but she always vanishes before reaching her destination. One trucker swore he felt her cold hand grip his shoulder, only to find his cab empty seconds later. When he gave her description to police, they said it matched a girl who died in a roadside accident, over 40 years ago. Story 2: The Locked Church in Jasper, Alabama. Jasper's Old Baptist Church hasn't held service in decades. Town records claim it closed due to structural issues, but teenagers who've broken in tell another story. Inside, hymnals are scattered as if worshippers left in a hurry. Candles still melted on the altar. In the basement, chains dangle from the ceiling, their ends rusted with what looks like dried blood. One teen claims he saw pews full of shadowy figures, watching him breathe. The church remains sealed to this day. Story 3: The Disappearance of Hannah Wilkes. In 1998, the small town of Millfield, Ohio, was shaken when 16-year-old Hannah Wilkes never came home from a football game. Her shoes were found neatly placed at the edge of the woods. A week later, hunters found claw marks carved into trees, as if she'd tried to climb to escape something. Her body was never recovered. Locals still warn kids, don't wander the woods after dark. Story 4: The Gas Station Attendant Who Never Left. On Route 64 in Kansas, a rural gas station burned down in the 70s, killing the lone attendant inside. For decades, drivers have reported pulling up to that exact spot, seeing a man in grease-stained coveralls offering to fill her up. But when they blink, both he and the station vanish into smoke. Story 5: The Caldwell Family Farm Murders. In a farming town in Kentucky, the Caldwell family was brutally slaughtered in 1963. The crime scene was so horrific police refused to release details, but rumors spread, ritualistic symbols carved into the barn, animals mutilated, and neighbors who heard chanting in the night. The farmhouse still stands, abandoned, with boards over the windows. Some say screams echo if you stand outside too long. Story 6: The Woman in the Window. In a small New Hampshire town, there's a boarded-up Victorian house. People say a pale woman with sunken eyes stares from the top window. One mailman swore she mouthed his name. The house has been empty since 1922, after the last owner's wife went insane, murdering her children before hanging herself in that same room. Story 7: The Hospital Basement in Ashford, Maine. Ashford's community hospital was abandoned in the late 80s after budget cuts. Urban explorers who entered claim the top floors are decayed but harmless, until you go to the basement. Wheelchairs sit in rows, facing the wall. Patient files describe people admitted for unnatural behaviors, many of them children. One explorer says he heard a gurney roll behind him, though the wheels left no tracks in the dust. Story 8: The Call That Never Happened. In a town in rural Texas, a 911 dispatcher received a call one night from a woman whispering, "He's inside my house. Please help." Officers rushed to the address, only to find the house empty, covered in cobwebs, with no electricity running for years. The phone line itself had been disconnected since the 90s. Story 9: The Playground at Dusk. In Willow Creek, Oregon, kids say never play at the old playground after sundown. Locals have reported hearing swings creak even when there's no wind. Some parents claim to have seen children playing there, only to realize their own kids were still at home. One father swore he saw his daughter on the merry-go-round, but when he ran to grab her, she disappeared into thin air. His daughter was asleep in bed the whole time. Story 10: The House That Breathes. In a small Illinois town, a house gained a reputation for being alive. Visitors describe hearing the walls exhale, the doors pulse as though veins ran through them. One group of teens recorded their overnight stay. Halfway through, the audio captured a deep voice growling, "Get out." The footage ends with the teens screaming as the camera hits the ground. They ran and never returned. Closing narration. These small towns are meant to feel safe, places where everyone knows your name and neighbors wave from their porches. But as these stories prove, darkness doesn't need big city shadows to thrive. Sometimes the most terrifying horrors live where you least expect them, hidden in plain sight, in the places you call home. So, the next time you drive through a quiet small town, ask yourself, what secrets hide behind those locked doors? And what stares back at you from the windows after dark?